Hey there, welcome. I'm Damien, I'm just another starving artist on the internet. And today I'm going to talk about a thing that I've had my eyes on for a while. A product that is supposed to help you with drawing related stuff. Namely, draw better and faster, I guess. But to have a proper look at it, we have to change locations. You see, this is where I normally do digital art, in my desk. And we need to go to my traditional art workstation, which is there, right behind me. So, come on, let's go. So this is Bodychan Sports Edition. And keep in mind that this is not a sponsored video and I bought this with my own money. So this review will be as honest as it could possibly get. I have already opened it before to have a proper look at it, because this is not really an unboxing or first reaction. I just put it all back in the box to show you what it looks like straight out the package, so you can see all the little things and trinkets it comes with. You can see here it says DX set. That just means it comes with accessories, and I may be wrong, but I think the only version you can get without any accessories at all is the original Bodycon and Bodychan. Since this is the sports edition, it comes with sports related accessories. There's a volleyball, a pair of ice skates here, and inside the base there's badminton and ping pong stuff. But before we get into reviewing the meat of the product, which is the Bodychan figurine itself, let's see all the different editions that you can get. I don't have any of them, so I'm just going to pull up pictures from their product pages. So there's the standard editions, they're just Bodycon and Bodychan without any other title. Then there's these editions that I find quite interesting. For Bodycon, the male version, it's the Rihito Takarai edition. It's supposed to imitate the art style of Rihito Takarai. She's done a number of BL manga. The most well known of them is probably 10 Count. I'm not too familiar with her work though. For Bodychan, the female version, it's the Kentaro Yabuki edition. Like the previous one, it's supposed to imitate the art style of a manga artist. This time of Kentaro Yabuki. He's the artist for To Love Ru, among all the titles, but that's probably the most well-known one. Then we have the sports edition for both Bodycon and Bodychan, and this is the one we're going to be looking at in this video. There is also another sports edition for Bodychan. It's called the Birdie Wing edition. It's supposed to be like a golf player, and as of the making of this video, this version has not been released yet, and a Bodycon counterpart has not even been announced. And finally, there's the Ken Sugimori edition. The same as with Rihito Takarai and Kentaro Yabuki, these are based on Ken Sugimori's art style. But this time it's not just one of them, but both Bodycon and Bodychan. I am saying Bodycon and Bodychan so many times they're starting to not feel like real words anymore. But anyway, Ken Sugimori has done a lot of art for Pokemon, has done character design as well, and that's what he's mostly known for. Other than these editions, versions, forms, renditions, or interpretations of whatever you want to call them, honestly it's kind of confusing. They also come in different colors, so besides Depression Grey, you can get them in Naked Skin color, Solid Jet Black, and some of them are available with this wireframe thing on top of them for like easier art cheating, let's say. But I thought all of them looked a bit weird, so I stuck with my Depression Grey and that's what I got. As you can see with the help of my cutting mat, Bodychan is about 13 centimeters tall or about 5 inches. As far as I know, all Bodychans are the same size, and all Bodycons are about 1.5 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch taller. Honestly, if you use inches, just stop, please. And obviously the Ken Sugimori versions are a little bit smaller than them. And if you have followed me for any amount of time and have seen any of my other social media, you will immediately notice that I don't draw that many male characters. So I got a Bodychan simply because I will have more chances to use it if I found it useful. And as for why I got the sports version, well, let me show you. If you look at the shoulders, they have a joint that allows her to move her shoulders back and forth like so. And it's not much, but our real shoulders don't move that much in that direction either, so that's alright. The standard Bodychan also has this feature that for some reason it seems to be missing in the Kentaro Yabuki version. And something that is entirely unique to the sports edition of both Bodycon and Chan is that they have 3 moving segments in their torso, as opposed to only 2, so 2 joints instead of 1. which allows for more realistic movements and poses. Also, this version has arguably the most anatomically realistic proportions out of all the Bodychans. Okay, now if we're going to review this kind of figurine, we have to compare it to what it's supposed to be replacing. So here's one of my old wooden artist mannequins, and I've had it for about 15 years at this point, and I haven't really used it too much because these things are actually quite useless, and let me show you why. So torso mobility, amazing. Perhaps even a bit better than bodycon and chan, albeit the shape of the torso is not quite that realistic. But when it comes to limbs, well, it's absolute garbage. Elbows and knees cannot bend more than 90 degrees. Look, that's as far as it goes. And the legs don't spread sideways, like at all. So it's pretty terrible if you want to go with almost any dynamic pose that isn't just standing or walking. And even then you're still very limited. In that regard, our bodychan is just immeasurably more useful. So let's get this thing out of the way and looking at the build quality of bodychan now. The joints are not too stiff or too loose, they're pretty easy to move, but they stay in place, so that's alright, that's perfect. The only joint that I have a little bit of trouble moving is the wrist. Not because it's badly built or anything, but rather because if you take the hand off to swap it with another hand, you will see how small the little knobs you're pushing actually are. There is only one imperfection or defect with my bodychan, which is her left leg. It's not really an issue for me because it doesn't really feel too different from the other leg, just barely, almost imperceptibly harder to move, but it's just squeaky, like really squeaky. But yeah, no complaints other than that. Let's see what else is in the box. It comes with a manual on how to use it. We don't need to go through it in detail. I already know how to use this. And this other manual showing what accessories it has and how to attach them. Now, on the accessories themselves, I kind of already showed them before. There's not much to them, to be honest. There's a number of hand poses that you can swap. Some of them are supposed to hold the racket and the paddle, and they fit perfectly, no issues there. There's also one hand pose that can hold the badminton shuttlecock, and the feet can be replaced with the ice skates if you want to use them at all, but they take a bit of effort to swap and I can't be bothered now, so just trust me, they fit. I have an issue with the ping pong ball though. Like, look at it. What's the point of it? I'll probably lose it. It's so tiny and there's no hand pose that can hold it, and let's be real, it's just a tiny ball. Do you really need a reference for that? And I also want to complain about the volleyball, but for that I have to complain about the base first. So bodychan is actually really hard to stand on her own. She has tiny feet and a heavy top, but she has this hole in her back so that you can use the base. And besides this little stud to plug in her back, she has these claw hands that hug her to hold her up as well. But they are very loose. No, I don't think you get it. It's loose to the point that it's not useful at all. So how does this relate to the volleyball, you may be asking? Well, the only way to have her pose with the ball is to use the same stud that goes into her back holding the ball, and we only have one. Even if we had two, the base can only hold one, because these are not holes, they are fake. You can only use this stick here. So you will need two entire bases. But once again, it's just a ball, and I don't think we need this much reference for what is essentially a circle once you put it in a canvas. It may seem like I'm complaining a lot about bodychan, but I'm actually quite happy with it so far. I think it's a great product, especially when you compare it to this dude. So yeah, now without any further ado, let's change locations again and try doing some art with this. It certainly makes drawing faster, especially if you don't take the time to take nice pictures in a well-lit light box, so it looks nice for YouTube like I just did. But do I recommend it? Yes, but also no. For example, if you want to get something done fast because you need to do a lot of drawings on a deadline, the same pose from 10 different angles, or honestly, if you just want to be lazy and use it all the time because you don't feel like effort, I get it, I am with you. I'll definitely use this more than I should. On a side note as well, all the pictures I used were taken with a 50mm focal length to avoid as much distortion as possible, since that's the closest to the human eye. Phones usually have a lot lower focal length, so you will get a lot more dynamic perspectives if you use that, and it will look a lot more like an illustration or a manga. But what's more important is what I don't recommend this for. This is not really a learning tool. If you're not familiar with anatomy and proportions, you might get too comfortable using Bodycoon and Chan to the detriment of your abilities long term. You can use this to complete commissions or help you make a comic, manga. Go for it, I fully support it. But to make full use of this tool, you probably want to do some old-fashioned practice as well. There are gaps in how much one of these figurines can help, and it's quite limiting in terms of stylization and body types if you completely depend on this as a base. You can overcome those issues if you are able to compensate for them by actually knowing how to draw without Bodycoon or Chan, and only using them as a rough guide. And that's all I have to say for now. Tell me in the comments if you think you will get a Bodycoon or Chan after this review, and if you have any suggestions for things you want me to talk about in the future, let me know as well. And like, subscribe, and do all the things that make the algorithm happy. If you like my work, you will find a link to all my social media in the description, please check them out. If you want to support me, you will find my Ko-Fi page in the same link, but if you would like to get something in return for your support, you can also visit my shop. So yeah, keep drawing, keep getting better, and I'll see you next time.